Florence Nightingale, 1820–1910, volunteered to nurse troopers at some stage in the Crimean War. Nightingale's evaluation of mortality charges helped to enhance medical institution practices. She additionally helped enhance the general and status of the nursing profession. She is viewed to be the founder of current nursing. Short bio of Florence Nightingale. Born in 1820 to a rich family, Florence used to be skilled at domestic by way of her father. She aspired to serve others. In particular, she desired to end up a nurse. Her mother and father have been antagonistic to her aspirations. At that time, nursing was once no longer viewed as an appealing or respectable profession. Despite her parents' disapproval, Florence went in advance and educated to be a nurse. Florence later wrote that she felt suffocated with the aid of the vanities and social expectations of her upbringing. On one occasion, sitting in her parents' garden, she felt a name from God to serve others. She resolved to attempt and comply with God's will in being a provider to others. Florence had the probability to marry, however she refused a couple of suitors. She felt marriage would enslave her in home responsibilities. In 1853, the Crimea battle broke out. This used to be a bloody hostilities main to many casualties on each sides. Reports of the British casualties had been stated in the press. In particular, it was once stated that the wounded lack even the most simple of first resource treatment. Many troopers have been death unnecessarily. This was once a shock to the British public, as it used to be one of the first wars to be suggested vividly in the press returned home. Later in 1855, Florence Nightingale used to be requested, with the assist of her historic buddy Sidney Herbert, to tour to the Crimea and organize a team of nurses. Many of the preliminary candidates had been unsuitable, and Florence was once strict in deciding on an education the different nurses. Nightingale used to be helped in the usage of nurses educated by using Elizabeth Fry's College of Nurses. Nightingale used to be an admirer of Fry, who amongst different matters campaigned for higher jail conditions. Florence used to be very satisfied to be capable to take up the publish and put in to use her education as a nurse. They had been primarily based at the Workforce Health Center at Scutari. She used to be overwhelmed through the primitive and chaotic conditions. There had been inadequate beds for the guys and stipulations had been terrible. The area smelled, was once dirty, and even had rats going for walks round spreading disease. Speaking of Scutari Hospital, Florence Nightingale said, "The British excessive command had succeeded in developing the nearest component to hell on earth. In the beginning, the nurses had been now not even allowed to deal with the loss of life. They had been solely advised to smooth the hospital. But, eventually, the quantity of casualties grew to become so overwhelming the medical practitioner requested Florence and her crew of nurses to help. A modern of Florence Nightingale was once Jamaican nurse, Mary Seacole, who labored on her personal initiative from a base in Balaclava close to the front line. Angel of Mercy _Florence _Nightingale. Florence's mindset protected strict self-discipline for her different nurses, who constantly wore a particularly seen uniform. The efforts of Florence and her crew of nurses have been noticeably preferred by using the wounded troopers in step-by-step effective information reviews filtered lower back home. During her time in the Crimea, she developed a persona as being the lady with the lamp. By the time she lower back home, she had grown to be a countrywide heroine and was once embellished with severe awards such as one from Queen Victoria. Florence _Nightingale _at _street _Thomas. Florence Nightingale at St. Thomas Hospital. After the war, she didn't respect the repute, however persevered to work for the enhancement of sanatorium conditions, writing to influential humans encouraging them to enhance hygiene requirements in hospitals. It used to be after her return from the Crimea that some of her most influential work occurred. With the assist of donations to the Nightingale Fund, she used to be capable to observe the education faculty for nurses at St. Thomas's Hospital, London. In 1859, she wrote notes on nursing. This grew to become a general reference ebook for these coming into the nursing career and additionally the customary public who wished to research primary techniques. Her writings and instance had been fantastically influential in the route of nursing in the 19th century. She stimulated nursing in the American Civil War, and in 1870 educated Linda Richards, who again to the U.S. the place she developed the nursing career in America. Nightingale used to be a pioneer in the use of statistical techniques to quantify the impact of exceptional practices. She additionally had an capacity to existing dense statistical statistics in an effortless to examine format. She made full-size use of pie charts and round histograms to make clear the vital points. Ironically, she located that some of her very own techniques of treating troopers reduced restoration rates. But this scientific method to dealing with sanatorium cure helped to enhance requirements and the excellence of care. As nicely as nursing, Nightingale was once involved with different areas of social reform. This protected higher fitness care in workhouses and colleges and reform to the prostitution legal guidelines which regularly victimized lady prostitutes. Nightingale was once additionally worried about the famine in India and made special investigations into the popular of sanitation and hygiene in India. Nightingale took a sensible approach, endeavoring to enhance elements of life. I by no means lose in probability of urging a realistic beginning, alternatively small, for it is fantastic how frequently in such things the mustard seed germinates and roots itself. Nightingale additionally wrote about the function of ladies in society. She known as for ladies to be less passive and take an increased position in society. Why have girls passion, intellect, ethical recreation, these three, and a vicinity in society the place no one of the three can be exercised? Cassandra. 1860, Nightingale herself used to be a main pioneer in taking an energetic lead in the political existence of the U.S. at a time when woman activism used to be rare. At the equal time, Nightingale didn't usually agree with women's rights activists and ought to be dismissive of different women. I have by no means discovered one girl who has altered her lifestyles by means of one iota for me or my opinions. Religious views. Florence Nightingale took in lively pastime in non-secular and non-secular issues. She used to be a member of the Church of England, however, took a wide ecumenical strategy, believing there used to be fact in special Christian denominations and additionally Eastern religions. She additionally wrote on mysticism and the non-secular exercise of searching for divinity from within. Where shall I locate God? In myself. That is the genuine mystical doctrine. But then I myself should be in a country for him to come and dwell in me. This is the complete intention of the mystical life, and all mystical rules in all instances and nations have been laid down for placing the soul into such a state.